This is Cyberpunk 2077. We're here on Xbox Series X, and we're taking a look at the game after 2 years. That's right, I can't believe the game is actually 2 years old. So let's dive in and let's talk about the game as of this point. So be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So the game has received numerous updates, changes, adjustments, and I guess you would say content that's been added to it. We're taking a look at it as of the 1.61 update to the game. And we're playing on the performance mode, which has also, seen various improvements and upgrades over time. So I always enjoyed Cyberpunk 2077. I always thought it was a pretty cool game. The story was always interesting and engaging. It was lengthy. I liked the characters. I loved the world. The Cyberpunk game of my dreams. And you know what? I think it took a long time for them to really get the game to a point, bugs-wise, issues-wise, content-wise, where more people are kind of open to the fact that, hey, it's actually a pretty good game. And I think just mostly even recently, people have really been kind of, I guess you would say to a degree, embracing the game a bit more. Because obviously, there were a number of problems and whatnot over time. I always liked what it could go for, potential-wise. And it's really nice that people are, at least I think, a little bit turning around on things and their thoughts on this game. And, giving it a try and seeing what it has to offer. Honestly, it's a really, really good game at this point. And like I said, I think if you've had past issues with any elements of it, it's in a very good place right now. You can see that visually it looks really nice. They recently dropped a nice FSR update that helps improve the fidelity of the game and the frame rate of the game using, AI upscaling technologies. Essentially, that's what FSR is. So yeah, it's kind of nice to have that applied to the game, and of course I'll be continuing to take a look at it in regards to, future updates and everything like that. We also have finally a promising big expansion is coming down the road. Kind of weird, as I thought I would have already been playing the expansion at this point in time, but sometimes it takes time to get things going to a point where you can deliver exciting extra content to the game. So yeah, I'm very, very much looking forward to that and seeing what that has to offer on, this next year for Cyberpunk. But for now, the game itself, if you've been looking at it, if you've been curious about it, it's a lot of fun. It's a really, really good game, and it's just very, very interesting to see, high levels of negativity and problems and complaints about it for a very long time, and then to see that kind of change a little bit in regards to the attitude of people and actually giving it a whirl now and seeing, hey, you know what? They've actually done a lot of work on this one. Should it have taken this long? No. Should the game have launched, in a more put together state? Definitely. Absolutely, right? But it's still really, really cool, and if you've been holding off, if you've been potentially interested in it, it's a great time to jump in here and take a look at what this has to offer, because I think it's a really, really good game. I quite love it. A little quiet in here, huh? And there's a lot of story content you can do. I'm actually at a point where... No, that's the wrong one. My character is maxed out. I've gotten so many level upgrades done for different trees. I've gotten all these high-tier weapons and clothing and guns, and, I've crafted stuff, and character's been improved, and I've done, like, all of the main missions and all, like, the side objective stuff for getting all of the different achievements, and I've bought almost all of the items. So I've done practically everything here. My save, is at 50 hours. I've played through the game a couple times. I played it on Stadia when it came out, and I played it on here, and then I played a bit of it on the PlayStation as well. So it's just, oh, some corporo outfits, not usually my sort of thing. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to see what's going on here. Oh, wow. A cyber psycho. Can I save this guard? But yeah, for me, the combat's just really, really fun and exciting and engaging, and you just get to use these crazy weapons. I mean, obviously, I'm a complete god here, so it's like nothing really threatens me at all because I've got this crazy whip that does all the work for me. But you know, that's the excitement and whatnot. I think the Cyber Psycho's been defeated, right?
Target neutralized. Secure the witnesses.
You didn't even do anything.
Just had to go play dutiful consumer in a corpo suit.
Can hear you, remember?
How could I forget?
Why did it look... Oh man, this looks so cool in here. Huh. I haven't actually done this event yet. Maybe there's more in the world of Cyberpunk for me to take a look at.
Situation resolved. Deactivate alarm.
I don't know. I really enjoy the different stories and the different scenarios because there's main missions, but then there's all these side missions that you can take part in, all these side things, and you never know what's going to happen or what kind of events are going to go on or where things are going to take a twist, and you get to make your own character and you get to enjoy an adventure and a story that's lengthy and expansive, and you get to sort of craft that sort of feeling. I mean, it's certainly, you know, in the story sense, focused in what it is, but it just feels really large in scale, and it feels kind of personal as you customize your character and you get upgrades and you enhance yourself and you fight all these enemies and you reach the end of your journey and you make some little choices here or there. So it's kind of interesting to you know, just dive here. Sorry, just like the story mission thing, I was just like, I didn't even know that there was more stuff for me to do. I thought I had everything done. So it's kind of fun with just little weird events. But that's the big thing I want to wrap back around to, is that Cyberpunk is just a fun game with weird moments, weird twists. It's mature. It's nice to have a game that kind of treats you like an adult, if that makes sense. Like, actually has mature content. You know, it's got a good amount of gore and violence. And, you know, some other themes, sexual type themes and things like that very few games actually dive into. And it's a chunky main story. And it's a type of story that I think you can actually play through, you know, a couple times and still enjoy what it has to offer because it's really, really big.
I'll handpick something special.
Just for me,
Thanks. How's it looking? Later, Zane.
this looks so cool though, right? I love the visuals in this one so much. Like, seriously, it's just got like such a range of weird scenarios.
Your mantis blades.
Pulled off the market in '69. Oh, that's a bit of a twist thing on this one.
Recall they don't play well with neural processors. Poking at a part of the prefrontal cortex that shouldn't be poked at. Probably would have bought a pair myself.
That's a neat little twist too, because your knowledge actually
Had them installed
matters in this one too, because if you go the corpo or maybe you're part of the nomads, you'll have a better idea of certain things and lingo, and you can pull in these conversational points throughout your experience, which is really cool. And you can play the game in a sort of free-flowing way because it's a massive open world. It is actually really, really large. It's you know, it's this main city center that's so stacked with buildings and scale. It feels impressively massive. And then you've got like this huge desert area and this other, you know, this like failed amusement park city section. And I just like I just want more stories within this world, if that makes sense. I want to see where they can take this. And I hope they've got something exciting planned down the road, because while the core concept, I don't think, really nailed it off the bat for everyone. Oh, now it's heavy raining, and it's night. I do believe that, you know, there's a bit of a change in regards to my attitude towards this game. And like I said, again, Cyberpunk game of my dreams. I've always wanted, you know, a Cyberpunk type world like this to explore, to go through, whether you're like, you know, kind of driving through it or walking through it. I feel like it's a really, really cool sort of game that I would highly recommend. I've always thought this one was fun. I've always enjoyed this one, you know, since the launch of it. Ow! And it's just, again, neat to see that swapping perspective over time as people are maybe more willing to give it a chance, more willing to give it a shot. Because I think there's just so much to love in this one. You know, you can have your own little apartment spaces that you buy, get all of these different cars. It's got that, like, RPG feeling down, but just presents it in such a neat way that I think this universe is absolutely ripe for doing so many cool, weird things with. I know we've got more Cyberpunk, you know, experiences planned down the road. I hope they get here sooner than later, because I just want to experience more storytelling within this universe. I want to experience more combat, more narrative. Like I said, we are getting that big, you know, expansion, and it can't come here soon enough. That's going to be a really, really exciting thing for this next year. But, you know, for now, I'm just sitting here in anticipation, seeing where the potential of this expansion goes. I'm almost a little bit more disappointed that we didn't really get that full expected, you know, long-term sort of build on this one. At the same time, I think they've got the positive word of mouth going around now that they can kind of work from and be like, almost that this is a bit of, I don't know, redemption and or whatnot, excitement build of what we could end up with in a future Cyberpunk game. But, I mean, I think it's definitely running in a good way now. I think it's a lot of fun to play. I think most people would see that being similar with their cool builds, whether you're doing the Mantis Blades or you've got this really awesome monowire. You know, melee stuff's cool. You can also shoot people up too. You've got different guns, you've got different weapons, you've got different katanas. You've got a range of different assets and grenades and weird health things, and you can stab and slash and shoot and hack your way through swarms of enemies, humans, robots, monsters, as you've got your buddy Keanu sitting there talking to you, chatting with you, experiencing the world. You know, that's kind of fun too. They released some free expansion DLC. I don't know, I wouldn't really call it expansion content, but free additional DLC content for like some outfits and some new vehicles and stuff. I thought there would honestly be more, but I think they were mostly focused on getting this game running to a good point. And, you know, it's just nice to see that the game did get the love that it deserved, and it didn't kind of sit there and just kind of continue to be something with problems. I mean, whenever I go and play this game to do a video or something like that, you know, it is kind of funny that there's always like some sort of weird bug that pops up, so I'm kind of waiting for that to happen, but yeah. Alright, let's see what this meditation thing is.
I'll give it a shot. Give me.
You can. Then.
Is he doing like a brain dance thing? This is weird. Whoa! I love the visual aesthetic of this game too. And I also love how we finally got like a nice 60 FPS action going on, while also not really toning down the world too much. I would like the ray tracing effects to be, you know, amped up a little bit. I think that would be really nice. But with them actually doing a recent, you know, as of the time of doing this, a recent upgrade to the game for better visuals, better improvement through like an AI, you know, technology, it kind of makes me think that maybe they're not quite done, you know, bumping this one up. I do wonder long term though, with them eventually switching over to a different engine for future, you know, entities and stuff like that, if this one's going to continue to get love over time. But you know, it is still, I think, a pretty nice game. They take you on fun journeys, they take you on wild ones. You know, the beginning of the game feels way different by the time you get to the end of the game in terms of just everything you've done and the crazy stories and tales you've had. Whether that's in the main narrative or the side missions, you really get a sense and scope of the seedy underbelly of this, like, dystopian place of mayhem and lust and death and violence and all that kind of crazy stuff. It's just, again, if you come from a backdrop of, like, enjoying the cyberpunk world, like what cyberpunk is, you will just find so much pleasure in just enjoying and driving and exploring this kind of place, whether it's the day or the night, the weird sandstorms. When I was streaming, the sandstorms literally would never end this one time. It drove me crazy, but it was funny. The rain, the, you know, seeing the weird pedestrians going on these crazy unreal missions, maybe enjoying a little bit of romance and stuff like that. There's a lot here. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of looking for like different little side missions we could do in the backdrop while I was talking, and I'm just like, what is this weird? I'm assuming I get some kind of like meditation bonus or something while doing this. I'm gonna find out he's gone, but he's stolen all my money. Was he ever here?
Hello?
How long have I been here?
Nice vanishing trick.
Did I get anything for that?
Hello?
Hello there. I'm sorry, your relic sometimes breaks down. Ugh. I don't know. I really love this game. I think this game's a lot of fun. I think if you've ever been curious about the game, it's never been a better time to play it. I think it's actually been in a really good state for quite a while, and I think you're kind of missing out on, you know, a really, really great shooter RPG, because there's not many shooter games that have this lengthy of a story, this amount of content to it, this many side activities, this many crazy things you can get up and do, you know, from driving to just walking around. There's not really anything out there quite like this, and I think it just absolutely nails the concept in a very, very exciting and well done way. And now that it's got, you know, gameplay that sort of matches that in terms of like not being quite as buggy and broken, I think you'll find this to be a really enjoyable sort of thing that you can get lost in for so many hours. Like I said, I've gone up to 50 hours, and honestly, I would love some more things to do. It's actually kind of funny that we've gotten to the point where I'm sitting here being like, I didn't really care about the idea of a new game plus, but now that I'm sitting here being like, I kind of want to play some more, I'm like, oh, well, it would be really good if we got that sort of thing in the near future, so I'd give it another whirl. But we at least have that big expansion pack coming. We at least have more activities that we could take in and more challenges, and it's going to be fun, you know, sinking my teeth into more narrative-driven action. I can't wait to witness that and see it. Oh, come on, what's with the cars today? Because I feel like this is just such an untapped, like, mine of excitement, and, you know, there's just a lot here. I think maybe some people still have weird expectations or desires out of this one beyond things that were, you know, ever really expected to be a part of this game. And I don't think that's necessarily the best way to look at this. But if you do dive in with a fresh perspective, a fresh mind, you're going to have a great time shooting, slashing, and blasting your way through just some wild scenarios. I mean, look at this place, though. And this is only the downtown section of Cyberpunk. It's not even like, well, Night City, but, you know, the Cyberpunk world. There's this whole other, like, you know, side sections, whole other places that you can visit and you can explore. And you can do all these crazy things in. And you never know what's going to happen or what kind of weird events are going to take place. And to me, that's kind of exciting. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with Cyberpunk. And I think you're kind of almost missing out if you don't... Why am I getting... Okay. I think you're almost missing out if you don't experience this game, because there is a lot to love here. There's a lot to do. It's flashy. It's cool. It's filled with hilarious moments that will always keep you guessing, such as cars flipping randomly. It's just a really, really good time. Corpo Swine. Do we have to pick this guy up and carry him? So I hope you do, at this point, grab yourself a V, have a fun time, and jump in here and enjoy the world in Cyberpunk 2077. Because I don't want to miss out on future opportunities. I don't think you want to miss out on seeing this game and experiencing it, because I think it's damn great. It is filled with so many weird surprises and quirky adventures and mysteries and excitement. And again, it comes from that mature standpoint of being something that is, you know, violent, and it's got, you know, the adult themes. And I think that's awesome, because you know, very rarely in gaming do you get something that's catered towards that audience, and I've always appreciated that, because so many games sugarcoat things or don't step in all the way. And in Cyberpunk, they just really don't care. They go all the way through and they do whatever they want. It's kind of wild and also kind of awesome. And I hope you enjoy your stay if you do dive into it in Night City.